I was told to deliver this message. You think you're invincible because you got money, bombs, guns, and planes, killing babies, innocent people. I think you're insane. Chaos and destruction is the name of your game. Somebody's got to stop you before the whole world goes up in flames. So he told me to tell you, I'll fight
for my brothers. We can go to war. Fighting for my father, I will give my life for. I feel so alone in this white man's world. Whip it in the kitchen, watch that white turn pearl. Standing on the corner, standing on my phone, standing with my gangsters, but I'm standing on my own. If you let it be his own, split you like you be alone. Sacrifice my life, understanding each his own. Toast to the keys of success. Bel Air rose on my breath. I've been a student since '03, and we can fight till we see peace.
I fight like that. 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 I fight like that.
Let me holler at you for a minute, give you game. Real scrappy, love the bada Buddha bang. Trigger happy, and everybody in the game. You shot your family and didn't even know it, man. Same rules, same code, with a different slang. Struck him out, now they took him out the picture frame. Mama, don't cry, we gon' get by. 2 weeks later, got killed in a drive. Why must we fight amongst each other? Reach one, each one, teach one, my brother. I teach them how to fight on the grass and in the class. Snoop Dogg, all stars, yes sir, they coming fast. D1, football, we won. Now proud of my son, Lil Snoop, yes sir, cause he won. Right on, SC, fight on. We 100, keep it coming, dip, slip, slide on, light on.
I fight like that. 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 I fight like that.
Watching the warriors, the story of the rebels. You from the ghetto, did you know never to settle? I'm shooting common on the streets, I'm a pharaoh. Battling in African-American apparel. Fists on a t-shirt, youngins doing street work. Grinding till they teeth hurt, that's because they need work. Working till the feet hurt, trying to get my soul right. Used to be on old bikes, serving them that cold white. Wars in the winters, the block is hot in summers. Today's mathematics, we know it's strict in numbers. To the bosses and the runners, the hustlers and the stunners. We fight for the hundreds, we fight for the one that's on.
He fights with the heat. He fights with the sleet. He said, I am who I am. I can't be beat. Nobody has won a war against me.
I fight like that, 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 I fight.
All of the nations of the earth as we speak are angry. They're angry because governments cannot suffice the needs of their people. They're angry because a few have gotten wealthy at the expense of the many. And the poor and the sick and the weak and the unlearned multiply. And the value of their lives are diminished by the rich and the powerful, so that when human life is devalued, that in the eyes of man you are unworthy of the gift of life. then it is easy for another human being to take the life of another human being that he or she has devalued. Black life in America is devalued. Hispanic life is devalued. Even poor white life is devalued. There's a way that I have to behave. I'm free, but I'm not free to rob you of yours. I'm not free to take from you what does not belong to me. So if I will construct my life according to these righteous principles, then between man and man, man and woman, peace. Between race and race, peace. Between rich and poor, peace. We have our beautiful Mexican family. This once was theirs. So you can't say to them they are aliens. That's a horrible word to use for former owners. I see my indigenous family here. Many tribes, but they're really one great nation of people that now must be reunited with themselves. So it's their time now, as well as ours, that God would intervene in our affairs and bring the bottom rail to the top. The government is not rehabilitating soldiers. When they send you away to kill. When you come home, they gotta reconstitute you for civilian life again. Make sure you have a job so you can take care of your family, but they're not doing it. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad says, a woman can do anything that a man does, and the only thing he forbids the woman to do is the thing that degrades her. So how high can you go? High as you want to. Why would God allow the female to wear his attributes if you can't be a manifestation of that attribute? Women, you got to be set free. What God has put within you must be cultivated, must be developed, and must be used for the advancement of a nation and a world. I said to myself, Mr. President, why the hell don't you go to the wicked police department? Why the hell don't you stand up and tell them that your killing of black youth and brown youth is not gonna hold no more? Why don't you stand up? God's world is in need of a truth that will set up a government where everybody can live in peace, under real freedom, real justice, and real equality.
But to hear us talk and hear us think and hear us reason is something that I'm going to create a passion for.
Well, brother, every revolution started the same way. Somebody came in the room and said, yo, we ain't got to keep putting up with this. And somebody just said, for real? For real. Well, we need to do something about it. It really came the germination of an idea that this right here that we're dealing with does not have to continue. And then it went from there.
I believe it. I absolutely believe it. And we're hitting all the trigger points, because if you're healthy in your mind and you've got your children pointed in the right direction, and you've got a strategy for your future in business, you have come, and then you've got a relationship with God and your spiritual parts are good, because there's certain things about the spiritual part of a person's being that none of these other things will touch. You can have the money and have the business and have the mentality, but if you don't have the peace and the courage and the comfort and the consolation of knowing that there's something bigger than you that makes you feel safe to explore the unexplored, to conquer the unconquerable, to climb the mountains that have never been climbed before. If you have all of that on your side, you can do anything. And I think that I want to use my platform. I want to use our foundation as a platform to have these kinds of conversations, and not only conversations, but to make sure that the information trickulates down to the level that it needs to go and touches the people that it needs to touch. And on behalf of, and I can't speak for the community, but I'm going to, on behalf of the Black community, we thank you for your service and who you are and what you do and what you give. And you are the sheroes and heroes. You don't get trophies at the Olympics, and you don't get Stellars and Emmys and Grammys. And I want to put you on stage so that we can give you awards so that our children will want to be you.
Thank you, brother.
And Bishop, and just if I could just add one little thing, self-esteem. So everything that you just said, our people are missing self-esteem and the confidence in themselves that they can do this. And we should know from history that we get knocked down, but we get back up. So
how do we build that self-esteem?
Tell your child that they can do it. Continuously tell yourself that you can do it, because our children look upon us. They look at us to model. They look at us for guidance. And so if we're always giving up, or if we always feel like we can't do things the right way, or we can't devise a plan and stick to that plan, that's what our children see. So it's as simple as someone saying to themselves, I can do this and I will do this, right? Because if you don't have confidence in yourself, no one else will believe in you either. And that's the thing that people are missing. It starts with you. It starts from inside. And so it starts at a young age and telling our children to believe in themselves. That's the thing that we're missing also. And now we have to recreate that. We have to get them to believe in themselves, to think positively when they're praying, to ask for what they want, what they've been working for.
Parents can build self-esteem, as can educators, or any adult in a child's life can build self-esteem or foster self-esteem through identifying small victories. You did a good job when you washed that dish. You did a great job when you came over and you told your sister that she looked nice. That was really cool of you, the way that you called your grandmother and asked her how she was doing during COVID. Self-esteem is built brick by brick, grain by grain. But what makes it self-esteem, but in terms of from the outside, is we shine a light on it. So when we as a parent or a person in a position of authority point something out to someone who's looking up to us, they in turn internalize that as something that's important. And if an important person to me says that I know how to do something that's good, then I must be good. It's a simple calculation. It's a very, very, very linear equation. You point it out. So you say to somebody, that's a good looking cake that you should send me up here in Connecticut. Maybe what they'll do is they have self-esteem enough to put one in the mail and get it up.
But by the way, Bishop, I'm gonna tell you something I don't say publicly. That's why I use credit scores for adults. It's non-racial. It's non-political. It has nothing to do with your family lineage. This is a win that you can control.
Right.
And if I can get your credit score up 40 points in that first experience with us, you don't trust banks, you don't trust the government, you may not even trust yourself. You've had a bunch of failures, a bunch of disappointments, a bunch of declines. If I can get you a win in 20 days, wow, my credit score I was 620. I'm 660 now? What? Wait, I was 5'80". I'm 6'20" now. I'm 5'40", 5'20" now. What, 6'20" now? Wait, okay, now whoa. What did you do? Okay, what that was me. What else? Okay, what else? Okay, well, you got this charge off here. I don't know what that is. Oh, I got divorced 10 years ago. We negotiated that for you. Then you go up another 30, 40 points. Now you're at 650. All of a sudden you got this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What now I want to buy something. I want to be a homeowner. I'm tired of renting. The endorphins kick in a different way on the right side of their brain.
You know what I love about what you just said, and I know we got to go, but this is what I love about that. In our community and even in church, we have all these colloquialisms that are not quantifiable, that are not metrics that are measurable. I'm going to the next level. I'm going to do better. I'm moving to the east side. All of these things that are so nebulous, that you can't tell whether you're there or not. But something that has a number to it gives me quantifiable results that I can say, oh, I'm 10 points higher, I'm 50 points closer. I think that's very helpful because a lot of times we anesthetize our pain with colloquialisms that can never be reached because they're never quantifiable enough to be measured.
Great.
I'm gonna give you this and I'm gonna leave it alone. There's never been a riot in a 700 credit score neighborhood in all of America's history of any race at any time ever, because 700 credit score neighborhoods go shopping. 2-parent households, after school, plays, parks, Starbucks, Whole Food. That's a 700 credit score. GDP, entrepreneurship, all the riots, all the poverty, all the check cashers, payday loan lenders, rent-to-own stores, title lenders, liquor stores, pawn shops is in a 500 credit score neighborhood. Black and brown urban and white rural, 100%.
I get it.
Bishop, that colloquialism piece, I hope you wrote that down. That's a book. The fact for real. The fact that people that's pretty heady. The fact that people subconsciously create immeasurable, unattainable goals allows them to never be accountable to growth.
Absolutely. That's the whole problem. And as a CEO, lay the pastors aside, as a CEO, I always want the metrics. I want quantifiable results. I want to know that
you don't want to do good. You don't want to do good or better.
Yeah. I don't want to hear that. Good. We did good. How good is that? We did better. What do you mean by better? I want quantifiable metrics so that I can measure. How does that compare with last year? What's my year to date on that? What is my cost factor? What is my profit margin? A lot of smart begins with being dumb enough to ask the right questions.
Exactly.
And if people would learn to allow themselves to be foolish enough to ask the right questions, you'd be smart in a minute.
The smartest person in the room is not the one with the most answers, it's the one with the best questions.
Absolutely. We got to stop. We could go on all day. Thank you so much. This was great.
As we all know, the subject of money isn't taught in schools. Most people learn about the topic of money at home from their parents. But what are parents actually teaching their kids about money? What makes the difference between somebody who will eventually become rich and successful and someone who won't? So today, let's go over 10 things the rich teach their kids about money that the poor don't. If you like videos about business, money, and psychology, make sure to subscribe and hit that bell button to not miss any of our value-packed videos. And I got a big surprise for you at the end of this video. And let's get started. Number 1. Rich parents teach their kids the importance of money. Virtually all self-made millionaire or anyone who've achieved financial success believes that money is very important and is one of the first things they teach their kids about money. Rich parents often show how important money is regardless of whether they believe money is important for happiness or not. They know that money is important to have options and a better quality of life, even if they only consider money as a resource and nothing else. Most rich people understand that money gives them freedom, from the ability to choose their location for their next vacation to the freedom to choose where to live and even the ability to help others. They know that they can have a less financially stressful life when they have an abundance of money. The poor, on the other hand, rarely talk about money, and some even say that money is not important. This can affect their kids on the long term because they will grow up in a financially driven society while neglecting their financial life, all because they think of money as not important. Number 2, they teach the difference between assets and liabilities. One of the most important and basic concepts of building financial independence is understanding the difference between assets and liabilities. If you haven't heard of these before, assets are things that bring money into your bank account, and liabilities do the opposite. They take money out of your bank account. For example, if you buy a house and you rent it out to someone, it is an asset because it brings cash flow every month in form of rent. If you buy a house to live in, then it's a liability because it takes money out of your pocket every month. Many rich parents teach their kids to build and buy assets and avoid liabilities. This way, they can create a business or investments that generate cash flow on a recurring basis and avoid the things that generate a negative cash flow on their bank account, so they can have a surplus of money. They also understand the power of using assets to detach your time from your income. Since assets generate cash flow whether you are physically putting in the work or not, you are able to scale and use your time to develop more assets. Rich people often focus on understanding and teaching the spending patterns of the poor versus the rich, and why some people earning the same salary end up becoming rich while others stay poor. For example, let's say that we have two people making $6,000 per month, but they have very different spending patterns. The first one gets their paycheck and pays his bills and enjoys his money going out, shopping, getting the newest phone and the latest TV, indulging in the finest restaurants, getting a new car, a nice house, and all of that nice stuff. They typically spend their money on things that make them look good and wealthy, but they actually come back home to bills and a lot of debt. They typically have little to no savings and have years of debt on their credit cards, car payments, and mortgage payments. They are stuck in the rat race and it will take years to get out. Now, let's see the second person. He also makes $6,000 per month, but this person does not buy a nice house or a nice car. He doesn't go out every weekend and he doesn't go to the fancy restaurants. He occasionally buys clothes when he needs them, but he doesn't follow the fashion trends every season. He lives on a $3,000 a month budget and puts away the other $3,000. By the end of the year, he has $36,000 and puts them into cash flow investments that increases his monthly income. He continues living on his $3,000 a month budget, and by the following year, he's able to invest not $36,000, but $40,000 since he increased his income into investments that generate cash flow. 10 years later, these two individuals will be in two completely different places, all due to their spending habits. There's a quote from Robert Kiyosaki that says, "Looking good, but going nowhere," which means that many people spend their money to look rich while actually being poor. In the meantime, rich people look poor while getting rich. Now, a lot of people might be saying there's a lot of rich people who have nice things, nice houses, fancy cars, and all of that luxury stuff. And yes, it's true. But the main difference here is that poor people use their own money or go in debt to buy their luxuries. The rich have their assets buy luxuries for them. If you want a car that costs you $500 per month, well, it's time to build another asset that generates you $500 or more per month. This way, your bank account is unaffected when you buy this liability. That is another crucial element that many rich parents teach their kids. Number 3, how to manage their money. A very good way many wealthy parents teach their kids about money is by letting them into their planning and managing of their household expenses. Many of these parents include their kids when they go over their financial statements and plan their budgets. They often familiarize their kids on the reality of having living expenses. This gives their children the experience of managing money from an early age, which can help when they grow older and they have to manage their own money. This is a big contrast to many parents with a poor mentality. The majority of parents rarely talk about money, especially their own income. They typically plan their monthly budgets without their kids, if they even plan at all, and often associate a negative attitude when planning their monthly expense budget. Oftentimes, parents argue and express negative feelings about planning their monthly budgets, causing their kids to take on similar planning patterns, which translate to similar behaviors later in life. Rich parents know that living expenses are a reality of the modern life and focus on associating good emotions on their living expenses. As odd as that might sound, many people are grateful for those living expenses because it provides them with a roof over their heads and the ability to live comfortably. Number 4, the different ways of earning money. One thing that I've noticed many wealthy parents teach their kids is the different ways to earn money. Did you know that the daughter of former President Barack Obama had a normal customer service job? Many other wealthy people have their kids get a normal job. There are a few reasons for this, but one of them is to be able to have them experience the different ways money is earned and teach them how each of them work. For example, one of them is exchanging time for money, whether that is working on a job or freelancing. The second is to build systems that generate you money or having money work for you, like building a business and leveraging the time of other people as employees, leveraging online systems that provide automation, or using money to buy assets that generate income for you, which is illustrated in the book Cash Flow Quadrant by Robert Kiyosaki. The rich focus on understanding and teaching these principles to give their kids the freedom to not be stuck in only one way of making money, but give them the ability to learn the other ways money is made. On the other hand, most poor parents only know one way of making money, which is typically exchanging time for money, and sadly is the only thing they teach their kids, and they eventually grow up only knowing one way to make money, which limits their true earning potential. Number 5, developing productive habits. The rich know that it's not what you do that makes you wealthy, but what you do consistently. If the wealthy parents are self-made, they know that in order to achieve financial wealth, they must work and carry out their plans on a consistent basis. It's not just about taking action once or working hard once, but doing it over a prolonged period of time. And the best way to do that is by building habits, things that you come to do naturally. So many wealthy parents focus on developing productive habits on their children so they can attract wealth themselves more naturally in the future. This can be as simple as starting their day with a set of accomplishments or to always look at how they can bring value to others. Not only that, but many wealthy parents teach their kids how to build their own habits. Learning how to build habits is one of the best skills anyone can have. Understanding the psychology behind modifying your own habits can be extremely powerful for a child's long-term success. Number 6, no one owes you anything. Self-made millionaires and those who got wealthy with their own work know how much it takes to create wealth for them and their family. They know that they will only get what they fight for and no one owes them anything. This is especially important for rich people because in many occasions their kids grew up in a wealthy environment where they can feel like they deserve to have a piece of their parents' wealth. They understand that this sense of entitlement can be a huge disservice to their kids in the future, and teaching a concept of earning your success becomes very important to them. Bill Gates and Warren Buffett, two of the richest men in the world, have similar philosophies. They will not leave their kids with their wealth and will only leave them with a minuscule amount of inheritance. As Bill Gates said in an interview in 2011, they have to find their own way. They try to install a sense of independence and hard work so their kids can find their own success. Number 7, social and influence skills. This is something that isn't talked about enough in the financial and business world, but is one of the most important. The ability to socialize and communicate with others can open up a lot of opportunities that otherwise wouldn't happen. The ability to create influence with those around you creates a sense of leadership. Installing that skill to understand people's emotions, motivations, and behaviors early on can provide an incredible tool for the future, setting kids up to be strong and influential leaders. Number 8, delayed gratification. In other words, patience. The rich understand that completing a massive goal and building wealth takes time, and they must be patient while working hard at their craft. And that is one of the skills they often teach their kids, that eventually their hard work will pay off. The majority of people prefer short-term pleasures like buying the nice car or the fancy house right away, or they might start a business and leave when it's not profitable in the first year, and they pass down the same behaviors to their children. I really like something that Gary Vaynerchuk says when it comes to this topic, and that is to have micro speed and macro patience, meaning we must work hard consistently every day and be patient for the big picture. As he says, most people are slow on the day-to-day and want to be successful the next day. Number 9, there is always more money. An incredibly important mindset that the rich have is that there is always more. Most people think that there is a limited amount of money in the world, and that belief translates to their bank accounts. While the poor might feel like there is not enough money, the rich know that there is always more money out there. Whether it's to fund a new business or take a vacation, they know that there is a lot of money out there and their job is to get it. The poor think that their salary is their financial limit and they will have to live under this financial ceiling, which is a scarcity-driven mindset. The rich know that there is no limit on how much they can earn, and money is out there waiting for them to attract it, which is an abundant mindset. This is a simple concept that can play a major role in our financial decisions. While most people focus on saving money and reducing cost, the rich focus on increasing their income. This doesn't mean that the rich don't focus on reducing expenses, but they invest more time and energy in increasing their cash flow over reducing a few small expenses. As a business owner, having a scarce mindset can limit the entrepreneur's earning potential. There are many entrepreneurs who don't charge what they deserve for their products and services, simply because they feel guilty for charging money to others. They might feel like they are doing a disservice to their clients by taking their money. But an entrepreneur with an abundant mindset knows that anyone has enough money for the things they really want. And if a potential customer wants their product, who are they to deny it? If you take a look at society, people always have money for the things that they really want. If they want to go on a nice vacation, they spend months saving for it. If they want to invest in their education, they will work an extra shift to buy that course. If they want to begin investing, they will work hard and save to start investing. There is always more money for the things we want. Our job is to go and get it. Number 10, the best way to make money is to help others. An important lesson that the rich teach their kids is that the most powerful way to make money is to solve other people's problems. And the bigger the problem, the bigger the paycheck. It is no secret that the most successful people in the world have solved, or at least aid in solving, big problems in the world. From Steve Jobs for revolutionizing the technology, music, and communication industry, to Henry Ford for transforming the personal transportation industry, to Oprah Winfrey for making a global impact in the self-development world. All made a huge impact in helping others solve a problem. Most poor people focus on getting paid based on tasks, efforts, and time, while the rich focus on providing results and solving problems. Providing value is the rich person's game, and they get paid based on the amount of value they provide. And a bonus one. Number 11. They understand they don't know everything. Something that the majority of people don't know is that rich and successful people get together in groups called masterminds. They know that it is impossible for them to know everything, so they spend time with others who know things they don't, so they can improve their own business and their own life. They seek mentors and coaches who are experts in the things that they wish to learn, and they are constantly developing new skills and building new relationships. At the beginning of this video, I said that I had something special for you. I know that a lot of you guys are looking to build a profitable YouTube channel, so I decided to open up a test group for a 4-week training program that will come out next year called the Social Influencers Academy. There, I will show you everything I've learned about building a profitable YouTube channel and turning it into an automatic online business. So if you've been thinking about building a successful YouTube channel, a profitable business attached to it, and be mentored directly under the Betterment project, make sure to fill out the application in the description of this video. There will only be a few spots available before we close access to the group. And I will see you in the next video.
Ready for Evolution, and welcome to another edition of Classes in Session. I see many of you made it on time. Some of y'all slid in just before the bell. Don't worry, we're going to review all the reports from Sister Damau and Sister Cece at the conclusion of this class. Y'all are tripping. Y'all are tripping. Y'all are having so much fun this morning. Hey, I want to shout out a brother who I literally wheeled into conversation. I was in a room chat a couple of days ago with Sister Cece, Damawi, Delma Jackson Lewis, Raj Range. Man, so many people were there. And in that session, I talked about a particular experience, and I mentioned a brother, and I said, watch out for him. And I mentioned him, and he's on the stream, Brother Monty Butler. Brother Monty, I talked you up for real. Monty X Butler, I talked you up for real, brother. You know, I'm happy to see you. And big shout out and birthday celebrations to Brother Amar Berry. And a huge shout out, that's huge also, and a huge shout out to the Big Pill. He's rocking that watch. That means I'm closer. I don't have, you notice I don't buy watches. I don't wear them. I'm waiting for Dr. Sykes to pick mine out too. You know, congratulations, Big Pill. You deserve it, brother. All the wealth and all the mentoring and all the leadership that you have shown, exemplified, and continue to show speaks volumes to a wealth building mindset. And we thank you for all your leadership and your skills and being faster than I am going after that next prospect. And I think I'm pretty fast, but Brother Roger takes it into a gear, boy. I talked to y'all about him last week and told you how he does me. So I hope you found some value in what was shared this morning. And I wanted to show you two different mindsets in both presentations. The mindset of the round table with Bishop Jakes, you know, they're missing some things. They brought, you know, those basic tenets that we must share with our young, that we must discuss. But you can see there's some basic fundamental things that are missing there as it relates to understanding what real money is. It's not a knock against them. It just shows our sense of mission, and it gives us a deeper sense of purpose for people who have given us so much, for a society that creates professions that are needed. You need the social psychiatrist. You need the psychologist. You need the sociologist. We need these people. We need mentoring in how to be greater and better mentors to our future and to our community on a whole. But they also need an additional education. Training is one thing. Education is another. And I submit to you that respectfully, that when you find people involved in graduate work, aspiring to professions, that's just about my observation. That's just about the only aspect of education that occurs beyond the 40,000 hours of programming, which is training. We're trained to be a certain way in society, right? Through the school system. This system was taught to us by bankers. It was taught by bankers. They taught us, you know, they structured it so that we would be dependent upon them in order for them to extract the wealth that they desired for themselves. It's just a few. It's a wicked 10%. And 1% controls the 40% of all of the wealth in the world. But it's a 10% that's known as the bloodsuckers of the poor. Well, the bankers developed this training module that makes us all a part of a certain construct to raise us up in an age where we would just be workers. It's like the queen ant and the ants that follow. And the ants make sure that they produce for the queen ant so she can produce more eggs in her nest to produce more ants to do more work. The only problem is that queen, we're not the subjects of a true mindset that allows us to grow. Like I've heard of queen ants all the time. I never heard no king ant. But I understand that too. But as Mr. Best will say, that's another subject for another time. Any rate, with all this training that's going on how to be something in society, somewhere along the line, there's a shift, even in that training, that programming, there's a shift in an individual who says, I want to be somebody. And it might be the doctor, it might be the lawyer, it might be the engineer, it might be those professions. Those professions have now earned an education because something gave them awareness, something gave them a task, something gave them a goal. And as a result, they moved on it. And in moving on it, they extracted out of the training and beyond the training and education that allows them to provide a service to society beyond punching in and out. So, that's my take on it. All y'all, I mean, you're welcome to chime in. That's just my take on it. Okay, now, the last presentation gave you the difference between what the poor mentality shares in a household and what the wealthy mentality shares in the household. That was some pretty deep stuff. I'm going to share that particular. We previewed it last night. We debuted it last night in our 90-day run to wealth, and we had great dialogue around it. And thank you, so many of you not responded, but participated last night. We're going to share that video. I'll put it on my feed, the Facebook feed today. So, you'll have it. You can extract it. Of course, it'll be on the Eric Trey Muhammad YouTube channel. Parse it. See where we fit, applaud what we've done that we deem correct, and then work on the rest of it, because here's the other part of it. Here's the kicker. It's not just what we teach our young, but we're also the young and are being taught. We didn't know gold was money all the time. We didn't know there was another way to leverage the income in our home under our own roofs. We did not know what we didn't know. So we're being parented. We're being mentored. We're being drawn in and raised in a philosophy that changes the paradigm in our lives. So don't just look at it as something for your children. Look at it for the rest of you that are coming to stage inside yourself. Remember, every 70-year-old is a 90-year-old waiting. Okay, so think about that. Think about how and what we gleaned from it. When I looked at that, I embarrassingly saw myself. And this is what I mean by embarrassingly. There are things that I knew coming into wealth building, things that were accentuated, that were heightened in wealth building. But watching that presentation and dialoguing over it last night made me to consider my shortcomings. That's the power in mentorship, folks. Without mentorship, we don't have that ability, not consistently. We don't have the ability. I loved what I heard last night in our wealth building training, because in that training, man, you heard Sister Connie, she shared so much about the things they do, the value system they put with their sons, she and Darren. And, you think about these things. We need constant nurturing, constant education. We need to feed our mind and develop our will. And it comes through this kind of dialogue and conversation. All right. Let me look at some of these housekeeping rules. I got way ahead of myself and full of myself, so forgive me. Oh, newsflash. If you did not see the last of the celebrations yesterday for Mr. Ty Best and his 25th anniversary of freedom, we end up deeming it here anniversary. He said, you really should celebrate the day I walked. But so we're celebrating him being here. Go back to Kafani Radio International Network. Go back to the Kafani Radio Facebook page and pull down the Gold is Gold show last night. Mr. Best laid some stuff down that I don't think any of us have ever heard the same. It may have been the same things, but never the same way. It was a powerful, and I don't normally say that. I don't normally get into this thing and talk about, oh, that was a great interview, or that was a great this, or that was a great that, because he's just speaking. I hosted the show, but I'm telling you, there were things that he brought out that was just awesome. My Lord. I mean, awesome. So go to Kafani Radio Facebook page, look for the Gold is Gold show from last night. Okay. And hear Ty Best. And here's the other thing behind this presentation that you saw, the last one. all the points in there, including number 11, is all Ty Best. Every last aspect of it. I mean, this stuff oozes out of him regularly. I mean, it's like someone turned on a water faucet and you turn it off after your cup is full and you come back to get some more water, you just turn it on. This presentation is all the way through 24/7 Ty Best. We are so grateful for the legacy and what he has laid down. Okay, so get to that show. All right, enough of my news flashing. Housekeeping rules. Pay yourself first, folks. You know that's the mantra. That's what we got to do. Oh, I'm sorry. Tonight or today, 2 p.m., I'll be interviewed on the Young Boss Media Facebook page hosted by Sister Monica Segmet Grant. And I promised her that I would share it out with everyone to make sure that we help her and her team develop their volume there in New York City. They have a huge network of young entrepreneurs and not so young entrepreneurs that are desirous of being more and having more of a stake in the new norm. So I'm very excited to be a part of it. I accepted their invitation and I'll be there today at 2 p.m. Eastern. That's on the Young Boss Media Facebook page, hosted by Sister Monica Segmet Grant, some of her Young Boss team. I've seen plenty of interviews there, and I just think it's a phenomenal platform. They've done a lot to grow it. They've done a lot, and so I'll be there, and hopefully you'll be a part of it as well. Share it out, take a screenshot, and let's support others who are interested in supporting others to do something for themselves. Okay. And then of course, Saturday, we're all on Zoom. Saturday night, July 18th, 7 p.m. That is the Team Audacity Maryland, Virginia team blowout. We're going to do a full-fledged everything. Mr. Ty Best is the featured speaker. I'll be there as well, along with Brother Paul Stewart. And man, I'm telling you, this week is fire. And I love saying this. I'm going to say it here. Team, y'all got the audacity to put a program together like this. I mean, y'all are rough, man. Y'all be rolling, all of you do, but they're so, and look, let me tell you this. When you look at the notables in Team Audacity, it tells many of us we have no excuses. You look at the Cluis Cox, you have the Roz Rangers, the Golden Visionary honorary members. Okay, you have CeCe Mahone, Demawi, BJ. You have all these great leaders and minds that have a wealth of experience, and they come to the table with a whole world. They're walking books in your midst. Glenn Perkins, Richard Shoto. I mean, the power, and of course, Paul, we're talking about a whole nother region of Audacity members, and they live the name of their team. They live in constant let's go, so it's an honor to be there. And Mr. Best, what can we say? I mean, y'all pulled a coup this week. He's a little bit of everywhere sharing this message. So Team Audacity, that's this Saturday. Pay yourself first, folks. I didn't get mine in this morning, but I'll get it in before we get to the power call. Listen, 1/10 of a gram saved every day creates a legacy free from want and lack for future generations. Okay. Today, 10:45 a.m. This is Wednesday. It's the hump day. Sister Sherry Brown and Brother Willie Brown are in the house. Boy, ain't no telling what they're going to bring today at this power call, 10:45 a.m. Eastern. You want to be there before time, because what they do before the 10:45 mark, that alone will set you straight. Oh, my God. So 10:45 a.m., drive all your teams there to the power call. There's something in it for everyone. And at 12 noon, we have the live presentation for all of your new prospects, friends, guests, visitors, and people who just need a better understanding of your involvement in this opportunity. www.goldrocks.info is the platform for it all. Why? The way to change the nature of our experiences is to change the nature of our thoughts. And this is Rolly night. This is what I call Rolly time. Mr. Rolex earner himself, Mr. Roger Williams, will be doing a 9 p.m. presentation. 12 noon, I believe Mr. Rodney Berger is back. And I believe he'll be doing the presentation at 12 noon. And then at 10 p.m. tonight, we have Mr. Ty Best on the platform, goldrocks.info, 10 p.m. This is a call for leaders, but it's also celebratory. This is his 25th anniversary of being free. Ain't no telling what's going to come out that man's mouth in the Freedom Call tonight with Mr. Ty Best. Okay, out of his mind through his mouth. All right, so those are your platforms. www.goldrocks.info. The way to change the nature of our experiences is to change the nature of our thoughts. Okay, and tonight on California Radio, 9 p.m., you have the 19th Element with Dr. Aleem and Brother Mustafa Muhammad. They'll be on tonight, and that's California Radio International, the Facebook page. Be sure you're there for that. And then we also announced last night there on the platform, Mr. Best, we talked about the live event on the 25th. That's a week from Saturday. The Talent Appreciation Showcase and Poetic Runway in honor of Wealth Builders Worldwide founders Ty and Valerie Best. They will be there along with Sister Cheryl Ann Goldber. Willie Brown will be bringing some entertainment with his boys, Rufus and Woody. You know, so many other platforms, spoken word artists and singers will be there. And there are a couple of special guests also coming in from a little bit of everywhere. And we're saying that, you know, we're saying it loosely, but hint, hint, wink, wink. You want to get your ticket, $10 registration. Go to www.calfanievents.com. Okay. I think I ran through everything I need to run through for the moment. So let's get back to this call. I mean, this session this morning. So let's look at those 10 points really quick. Okay. Really 11. But number one, the importance of money. Understanding, defining what money is. That is something that we should share with the entire household. You know, I get it. You know, there's some things that I wish I can go back and recreate and redo in my life and how my children were raised. But I didn't know, you know, so I asked God to guide me. I have a daughter that I'm not as close to. This is real talk. She's in her 20s, but we were not raised together. We were not raised in the same household, and it damaged the relationship. And when I woke up to all that was going on, meaning what I helped to cause, then the problem with that was, how do you get back that time? You can't. So you always have in your mind that you want to be better. You want to do more. You want to repair the damage. Okay. So I didn't know how to repair the damage. I knew one thing. I got her gold package. I got her status. That was the first thing I dropped on when I first came to this opportunity. As we work towards repair, we might as well work and be rich at the same time. Hopefully it will help to do something in her life, you know, and the future of her family as she grows, you know. And so there are things that we just did not know and just didn't understand. Some of us were raised wearing children like notches on the belt or a badge of honor, you see. And then you had a society that encouraged the fatherless household. You have a society that encourages it now. This is real talk. And we're battling those challenges even till this day, you know. And it's not just Black people, you know, there's people all through the country, through the world. Society has taught this thing where we abandon our culture, we abandon our traditions, we've abandoned what is right. So teaching the aspects of what real money is, the importance of it, that's key. Number two, the difference between assets and liabilities. Woo! Boy, they laid that down. All this is Ty Best. Build assets versus liabilities. And I found something real key that we discussed last night in the 90-day run to wealth. Look here. If you take on a $500 liability, have an asset that will create the cash flow to finance that $500 liability. Build an equal or greater asset and allow that to produce the cash flow for you to handle that new, important or not, but that new debt or that new liability. Okay. Spending patterns are important. We don't know how to spend, you know, and really, truthfully, we should not know how to spend. We should know how to circulate and use. Spending is willing your wealth away from you. You spend it, it leaves. It doesn't have a return. It doesn't have a, it doesn't have, there's no tie to it. There's no trail for it to come back to. But when you use it, you're using it with your hand involved. You're using it with parameters, inside of parameters. When you use it, when you circulate it, when you invest it, it all stays with you. But when you spend it, it's gone. So habits revolving on money, very important. How to manage their money, having everybody in it. We just started that in our household. We have younger children that are still here. We just started that in our household. Even though we've discussed it and we discuss openly around them, there's some things that trickle down, but to actively involve them is very important. Okay. Teach the child in the way that it should go, right? Developing productive habits. Training the brain now gives you less to retrain later. Stay plugged in. Plug your children in too. I appreciate what Sister April Songbird Muhammad said last night, how her children are always in earshot of what's going on with this session and the different measures of plugging in, and how their entrepreneurial spirit has taken over. You know, the 12-year-olds doing jewelry. Whoo! Listen, you're going to see and hear more about them on the Gold is Gold show real soon. Okay? No one owes you anything. That was point number 6. Boy, you got to go out there and get it. You got to go out there and get it. It's just not enough to say, it's not enough to say my team is big, or my team is growing, or my team is large. You have to activate your team to will what you need. So in some of our previous pieces, we did a breakdown of who's got my money. Remember that list? Making a list of who's got my money, right? Because building your network establishes your net worth. Boy, we got something going. Brother Monty, I can't wait to talk to you, brother. I'm going to call you back because, look, you know, just looking at the size of your team gives me goosebumps. All right? No one owes you anything. The danger of entitlement, that's what it produces, you know, when we give it away. We create a level of spoiling, and if we're not careful, it'll exceed limits, and we'll have developed a monster that's even out of our control. Social and influence skills must be developed. Our family comes to Let's Go Weekend straight up. We out there, I mean, we are thick when we come, not just with the teams, that family, but also our children. Do you remember when Brother Mustafa and Sister Janetta Muhammad, when they came to Let's Go Weekend 9, they brought the entire family. You saw children, grandchildren, I mean, great. To see a family travel like that, coming from the East Coast all the way down into the Southeast, or not below Southeast, really South, and spending 3-4 days, everybody in hotels, everybody coming to each event, and they worked. They worked with the staff of the Let's Go Weekend staff. They were everywhere. They were found monitoring, directing, welcoming people. Whew. My children come. Everybody is involved. Those are social influences, folks. When you do these virtual events, you involve them, you know, and you remind them, even if they do not attend, it has to be in their subconscious that you directed them to the right way, to the proper influence, and osmosely it will have an effect. Okay. Instant gratification, point number 8. Woo! I just learned that recently. I tell you how my wife beat me down. Okay, look, Sister Maui says, quote, delayed gratification, even during coronation, will lead to elevation. I had to write that down. That's one of the Maui's greatest hits there. Okay, and then he quoted Mr. V, micro speed and macro patience. Instant gratification has to be removed. We need to develop the patience You know, we know it's for us. We know it's ours, but let it come. If you have a boat in the water, my father used to say, you know, you have a boat out there, a ship out there in the ocean. It's for you. It's coming to the dock where you're waiting. Do you swim out there to meet it? No, you don't want to do that. You just wait for your boat to come. It's yours. It's coming to you. And that's the same thing with the wealth building process, family. It's a process. That's your boat. Let it keep coming to you. Guided by saving at least a gram of gold a month. Guided by adding to your treasures cash gold. Guided by telling a lot of people. Just keep guiding that ship. It's coming to you. What started out as a rowboat, what started out as a raft, it grew to a rowboat. What went from a rowboat went to a yacht. Now you have a full liner, a cruise ship. It's coming to you. All right. The scarcity mindset must be destroyed. Always more. Gold is money. Gold is a product of abundance. So are we as God's people. We are products of abundance. Number 10, best way to make money, to help others. You provide the value, the people will be there, the people will come. My father used to teach me, as long as you serve the people will never let you down. And thank God I've been associated most of my life with the right communities of service. I was made for this, born for this, and didn't know it existed until September 29th, 2018. I'm here now with all of you. Grateful. And the bonus one, number 11. Sister Cece says, you don't know what you don't know. Mr. Best says, I don't know. Listen, point number 11 was and is, we don't know everything. So we need a mastermind to collectively mentor us. That family is Wealth Builders Worldwide, WBW. Get to that interview last night. The goal is gold. I did put a couple of questions to Mr. Best, and I'm telling you, he was already somewhere else. I think those questions might have piqued another, as he calls it, rabbit hole. But family, what he brought out in the development of WBW. Y'all check out that presentation. Okay, so now I'm heading over to Sister Lakeisha McKnight. We're going to move from Lakeisha McKnight on to Brother Consul Hotep Atom, and we're going to be before time for sister and friends, Willie and Sherry Brown. This is going to be an awesome, awesome day, like every day above ground. Every day above ground is a good day. Okay, every day above ground is a good day. So we're going to be in effect. We're going to be in the house. I'm going to thank all of you once again for being a part of Class in Session. I will give you a hint of what's going to happen tomorrow. Tomorrow will be the willing of the mind. We don't know exactly what we're going to title it yet. I'll talk it over. And but we want to show you what you can will into existence. And then I'm going to show you how I was able to do some of those things that we'll be talking about tomorrow. So family, I appreciate you. I appreciate all of you. And what is that you said, Sister Patricia? Oh, right. They need to give me my money now. That's right. Who's got my money? Honey. Big ups to Big Pill again. Thank you again, everyone. Happy birthday to you, Sister. I'm sorry, Brother Amar. I was looking at Sister April. Sister April Johnson, I want to thank you. I know I said I'm getting out of here, but I got to say this. You posted a prayer 2 days ago. I screenshot it. You posted a prayer that I absolutely did not know that I needed. Had no idea. I was clueless. I'm just going through news feeds and whatnot, and I saw it, and it just stopped me in the tracks. And I screenshot it, and I gave thanks right then. And I just want you to know that I appreciate you for sharing that. Thank you so very, 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 very much. So very, very much. And Sister Debbie, you know how I feel about you all. Give Brother Ken a big hug and a shout out for me. All right, family, I am out of here. Sister Cece, Sister Demawi, we're going to check that attendance roll to see who was in the house. Thank you all again for class in session. Love your family. Stay blessed, stay encouraged, stay together, stay in unity. More importantly, stay in love. And I'll see us all on the other side of money. Peace and power.
Peace. Strong words. Love. Soul. And change. Yeah. This is Big Snoop Dogg. Coming at you live and direct. And I got something to say. You dig?
Let's change the world, divided we fall, but united we stand. Let's change the world, no fights, no wars, oh let's learn to love again. Let's change the world, let's change the world, let's change the world. Whoa, oh, oh. Let's change the world, let's change the world, let's change the world. Let's make hope for the future.
Brother, what will you discover if we come together and do it like we never? I'm just sick and tired. I'm fit to light the fire. Now put this on the wire. The devil is a liar. I do this with no hesitation. Meet me at the reservation. Elevating, educating, meditating, concentrating. Replenish ya, finish ya, opposite of sinister. And I do it for the minister.
Let's change the world, divided we fall, but united we stand. Let's change the world, no fights, no wars, oh let's learn to love again. Let's change the world, let's change the world, let's change the world. Whoa, oh, oh. Let's change the world, let's change the world, let's change the world. Let's make hope for the future.
Somebody need to stop the war. Man, the war ain't overseas, it's at your front door. And I done seen too many brothers shot up on the floor for more than drugs and some colors. And now you call us warlords. But if you can help it, then help it. But you ain't helping us. You so selfish and selfless, you wanna see us breathless and helpless. But I'ma hustle and tussle for all my brothers who struggle. Yeah, we bang the world. Now let's change the world.
Let's change the world, divided we fall, but united we stand. Let's change the world, no fights, no wars, oh let's learn to love again. Let's change the world, let's change the world, let's change the world. Whoa, oh, oh. Let's change the world, let's change the world, let's change the world. Let's make hope for the future.
No killing, no shooting, no dying, no lying, no gang banging, so no more mamas crying. Everybody get along, man, that be the perfect song. Peace in the streets as I sit back on my phone, chilling with the president. He let me in the White House, back to the castle with the minister, no doubt. Shoes at the front door, love is what you come for. Let's get it right and unite, but do it front.
Let's change the world, divided we fall, but united we stand. Let's change the world, no fights, no wars, oh let's learn to love again. Let's change the world, let's change the world, let's change the world. Whoa, oh, oh. Let's change the world, let's change the world, let's change the world. Let's make hope for the future.